Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Truth Seekers Radio. This is the one podcast where we seek truth. We check everything out that we can, and we report it if we can. We talk about it, and we compare it to the Holy Bible, God's true word. So, in today's episode, if you notice, I've got my trusty UFO spacecraft shirt on here. The reason for that is we're going to talk about UFOs today. We're going to talk about the latest Trump posts that Trump has posted on Truth Social. Okay. So they've been talking about it for a while now. And they're talking about government releasing files having to do with aliens. Okay. I've talked about this before in other podcasts, and what it boils down to is, and I've had this theory, I can't remember which podcast it's in a bunch of podcasts, old ones, is my theory is that we're going to have an event happen soon with the church, which biblically speaking is called the catching away, which another word for it is called the rapture of the church. King James Bible does not have the word rapture in there, but it does talk about the catching away. That's what that is. So my theory has been for a long time that the government, now keep in mind, all government entities on the high level are ran by Lucifer. They're all satanic. Okay? So the really high ups, including Lucifer, he knows the rapture is going to happen. Now, the Bible clearly explains that towards the end times, things are going to get continuously worse. And it lists off lots of different things like, we could go over the verses if you wanted to, but we won't do that right now. It's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. It progressively gets worse. It's referred to like birthing pangs, that they start off and they get more intense and they get faster and faster and faster and faster. And pretty soon you've got a baby. Right? The Bible refers to the end times, these different things happening, as something, in other words, it keeps ramping up and it gets worse and worse and worse and more, and then pretty soon it's the end. It talks about in the end times there's wars and rumors of wars. Well, we have wars and we have rumors of wars. We have all that stuff. And so I think it's coming down pretty close, okay? Because they're wanting to get this global ID thing in where, you've got a global credit score, if you will, but it's a social credit score like they have apparently in China right now. So not only do you have a credit score, but you have a social score. So they go on and they check to see what you've said, what you think. And if you think something bad, let's say that old Biden was still in, right? What do we call him? Old fake Biden.
Come on, man.
Yeah, you know the one. we get old fake Biden in, right? He's in. And I go on there and I say, that doesn't look like the same guy. I think he's fake. Well, they're going to ding me on my score. When my score gets so low because I said something about Biden, or I said something about Big Mike, or I said something about getting a rattlesnake bite, you say anything like that, well, the score goes down. Your score gets to a certain level, and they're like, oh, your score's too low to even receive your paycheck. So you will no longer be able to bank. You can't receive your pay. You can't work. You can do nothing. And they're doing that in China right now. And I watched a video where all kinds of people. They're just laying all over the streets. They're completely homeless. They can't rent anything. They can't get access to their money. They can't get paid because their social credit score is too low. You have to obey the government, see? You have to bow down to them and worship them like a god. That's what they want. And that's coming. Oh, that's coming. Okay, during the times of tribulation, that's coming. It's called the mark of the beast. So they're laying all the groundwork for all that now. It's all being laid. That's what this AI is all about. That's what's probably going to be doing the monitoring. They're going to have AI monitoring this, like this channel, everything on YouTube, everything on Spotify. Everything will be monitored, and they're going to start adjusting your score based on what you're saying. So you have to be pro-government. You've got to be pro whoever's in charge. You have to be pro rattlesnake bite. You have to be pro everything. If not, well, they'll cut you off. So that they're already doing it in China. So that's what's coming in the tribulation. Okay, the mark of the beast. Eventually, it's going to come to where you will worship openly, and take this mark, or you won't buy or sell or anything, which means you're going to starve to death. So this has been coming for a long time. The devil knows it's coming. Everybody knows it's coming. High ups know it's coming. So if people really get raptured, like the Bible says they're going to, which I believe, there could be potentially millions of people disappear just like that. Now, the government is going to have a really hard time lying about that one. I mean, they're good. I mean, they're compulsive liars. They're devils. They're pedos. They're the worst of the worst, and they're going to be in the lowest pits of hell. And they're very accomplished liars. Now, people like me and other people like you probably listening to this, you can see right through their lies. You've got enough discernment to know everything they say is a lie. It's a crock. Okay, now there's a few that don't. I get messages all the time like, you try to tell me the government's in on this. This is, people that are just complete total idiots. You've got those too. So when all these Christians disappear, you're not going to be able to run a cheesy fake news story on CBS, okay, and just cover it up, because people like family members are going to disappear out of their car, okay? People's children are going to just totally disappear in schools, in the house, in airplanes, and people aren't just going to be satisfied with a talking head like Biden or Trump or anybody else get up there and say, oh, you're just imagining it. You didn't even have those kids. What are you talking about? Oh, that's just a bunch of conspiracy theorists running around here claiming people disappeared. That's not going to work because your own family members will be disappearing. Hopefully you will be too, right? So they've got to come up with something. So my theory has been for many years, they're going to claim that aliens somehow have possibly abducted these people, or, okay, that we are alien children. We're seeds of aliens, right? That's what this whole, all that old alien junk you watch on TV, that whole thing. They're convinced that aliens came down to Earth and seeded the population. And so there's no such thing as God. It's all evolution. But the aliens got us to evolve, and they're helping us to keep evolving. And aliens, like the one I'm fixing to show you here, that's all over the place now. These aliens, they've come to help us, and they want us to evolve to another level, to be like them. And in order to do that, we have to have an open mind. We have to be able to, imagine things. We have to be able to worship them and, throw out, in other words, Bible-believing Christians are going to have to go, because they're Bible-believing Christians like me are holding you back. See, I'm holding you back because I believe there's a God, and I believe that the alien's actually a devil in disguise. But see, they don't believe that. They think that the alien's real. He's from Mars or Venus or some other galaxy far, far away. You know, Star Trek. So, because they believe that, of course, the government knows better because they're all in on it, but some people believe it. They're going to use that, and I think they're either going to say, bad aliens came in and abducted us, and now here's some, so we've got bad aliens, and we've got good aliens. And then, of course, these good aliens will somehow be on the side of, like, Trump, right? And so Trump and the good aliens are going to start fighting the bad aliens that stole all the people. And he'll even probably put out a guarantee that he's going to get them back. You know, he's going to sign a big, beautiful bill that'll get everybody back. You know, something stupid like that. That, either or, they're going to say, well, they had to take those people because those people are holding you back. Those people need to be re-educated. You know, they believe in God. They don't believe you came from a monkey like you clearly did. They don't even believe in aliens. So the aliens are going to come pick them up and take them to the planet, you know, Planet X. And don't worry, we'll put them, it's like a luxury camp, you know. We're not going to torture them or anything. We're going to re-educate them to show them that the aliens are real and God is fake and that, you know, man is evolving. But either way, we had to come get them. So that's where they went. They didn't go to heaven and you're fixing to go to hell. Oh, no. And I'm not the devil in disguise. I'm an alien from Planet X. Why not? But in order for this to happen, you know, an official source has to say it. Let me give you an example. Years and years ago, many years ago, when I was a kid, and even when the internet first started, if you claimed you had seen an alien, okay, or if you claimed you were abducted by an alien, or if you saw a spaceship, you were labeled an idiot, a liar, a kook. You know, you were anything but normal. So when people who were seeing probably devils and demons and our own craft, when these different people saw this stuff, they had to keep it to themselves because they knew they would be considered crazy. And of course, they told some of them told people, some of them didn't. But everybody knew if you've seen an alien, you've seen a spaceship, right? You're out of your mind. But now, see, Hollywood has ran with it. Every other movie is about space and aliens and the devil, and every movie from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, any sci-fi movie you watch, all they push is the Big Bang Theory and evolution. That's all they talk about. I mean, they throw it in everywhere. And then, of course, you also have, it doesn't matter what show you watch, you're always going to see a globe in the background. Somewhere, somehow, some way, the globe has to be shown. So they've been doing this for a long time. And now fast forward to where we are now. Now the government claims they have declassified files, you know, that they're going to release, proving that aliens are real. In fact, one of the articles I read said not only do they have a spaceship, okay, they've got ships. They actually have something that's organic. Organic, you know, that would be like a body or a real alien living somewhere. Organic, like me, you know, a body. So not only do they have machinery, they've got something, you know, alive, organic. So supposedly, coming up real soon, Trump is going to release a bunch of information regarding these aliens. And I believe they're going to try to start convincing people here real soon that they are, in fact, here and they are real. And they've been here for years and been covered up. Now, maybe they'll make an apology to all the people they made fun of for all those years, right? Yeah. So, why I think this is because Trump, the other day, he released a series of 3 pictures that I know of having to do with this stuff, and one's a video. I'm going to show it to you here. So this is a picture. Here it is. This is a picture, and he posted this, okay, of Trump walking with an alien. The alien has got some kind of chain around his wrists or something, like he's chained up. Now, this is clearly AI. They claim it's AI. They're not claiming it's a real alien. But he has a video of him walking with this alien and security on some type of a military base that you can see. Okay? Trump posted that. And he didn't really give an explanation for it. It's not like he said, oh, this is fake. I mean, obviously it's AI, but why would anybody post something like that? The President of the United States. Right? So, let me get the other one pulled up here. Let me minimize that one. Okay, so let me get that one pulled up. There's the next one. So he posted this one too. This is him sitting at a console of some kind. And as you can see, the background is the Earth as a globe. So he must be up above it, like in space, right? And so he's pushing buttons here. And in the background on the screen, it says target destroyed. And it shows things being destroyed and blown up around the Earth. And in one picture there, it actually has a mushroom cloud on the Earth. And it says target destroyed. And you've got satellites and space, fake satellites, fake space. And then you've got the Space Force insignia. Okay. So, signifying apparently something is going to be going on, a war is going to be going on, there's going to be a battle in space something, right? Another fake junk, always fake space. So we've got fake aliens. Now we've got fake pictures of space. Let me show you the next one. Next one's not as glamorous, but it is what he posted. Okay, here is the next one. There it is. Okay, it says ID for Independence Day, and it shows the, spaceship over the White House with some kind of, beam coming down. And do you remember the movie? It had Will Smith in it. Another fake liar and pedo, Hollywood deal. He was the main star in it. Well, basically aliens showed up from outer space and started attacking, right? And we had to fight them. And they were killing people. So here we are. Trump posts a series of pictures, him with an alien, walking, and the alien appears to be in some kind of chains. And he's got a picture of him in space blowing stuff up, like he's in some kind of a space war, Star Trek. And then he posts a picture of a spaceship shooting at the White House or whatever it's doing here. In Independence Day, that's what it did. It flew over and blew it up. So, in other words, another space deal. So, this is happening from a sitting president. This is not TikTok with some, nut job or wing nut sitting in his mommy's basement at 50 years old playing on his computer. Okay, this is the President of the United States posting this stuff right after they claim there's a disclosure coming about aliens. And they do have aliens, they've got organic material, and they have ships. So my theory that I've said like 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, when I first started this podcast, this is going on the 6th season. I change every season every year. But the first season was only like 2 months. I started it like in, I don't know. Let's see, November. So like November and December was my first season. I should have just omitted that. but then the next season. So we're in season 6. So technically 5 full years and like 2 months. That's how long I've been doing this podcast. Okay. So 3 or 4 years ago, I was talking about, I think in the future, they're going to come up with this alien deal. And the government's going to pitch it to people. That way people believe it. Say, if Hollywood pitches it, it's a movie. If anybody else pitches it, you're a nut. But if the government comes up and says, look, we actually have the files, you're going to have 90% of the population believe it. Because they're inundated with space movies since birth. Since birth, they have been shown fake pictures of space, fake pictures of satellites, fake pictures of the globe. It's all fake. Okay? There's a firmament. You ain't getting through it. God wouldn't allow it even if you could. Okay? He's not going to allow it. So all this is Hollywood. All of it's fake. But you've been taught your whole life that it's the truth. And the news says it's the truth. And the president says it's the truth. Everybody says it's the truth. But it's a lie. Okay? So here we are. My prediction is coming true. Now, I don't know yet if we're going to be taken away by bad aliens, supposedly, or if we're going to be taken away by good aliens to help us for our own benefit, right? One of the two. But I think this thing is getting a lot closer than what it was. And we literally are coming out with aliens now. I mean, the Bible talks about how people, mock the Bible. And they talk about, anybody's always thought this. This is a paraphrase, by the way. Everybody keeps on saying this has always happened. This has always happened through the years and nothing ever changes. Nothing has ever happened like this. This is not the same as it's always been. Yes, there's always been wars and rumors of wars. There's always been pedos and all your stuff and your devils. That's always been the case. And they're still doing it. But there has never been a time whenever we have had revelations in the news and the president is saying that there's aliens. Pictures of aliens. And we have never had in the past, the first lady walk out with a humanoid robot. Okay, a robot. And we have never had AI where you can get on here and type something in and this AI brain is going to run a humanoid. We've never had that literally in our living rooms. So things are changing. And now we're going on to digital currency. They want to get rid of cash. They want to have a digital currency just like China, see? That way they can monitor everything you do and monitor your social score. And if you say the wrong thing, your bank account's shut off. That is a beginning, a prelude, okay, to the mark of the beast. That's exactly what they're going to do at the mark of the beast. When the Antichrist fully takes over, that's exactly what he's going to implement, because he wants to know everything. He wants to know what you're doing. That's this whole social deal is like a trial run. It's like Satan being born right there. I mean, that's what it is. It's like him just cultivating and saying, see, it's working pretty good over here in China. I've got people laying in the street starving to death because they don't worship me. But they can't say worship Satan just yet. So what they're doing over there is they've got the communist deal, and you have to do what they say. You can't say anything bad about them. You have to go along with everything. Or you can just get out on the street. Starve to death, freeze to death. We don't care. Just die. Go ahead. You do what we say, and you worship us as a government, or you don't get your handouts. You don't get your paycheck. You don't get whatever. It's going to do that. See, they're already doing it in China. It's just a matter before they take it to the next one and the next one and the next one. And pretty soon, once they have full control over all of you, all of your money, all of your assets, and everything's digital, that's when they can say, you know what? You will worship me or you won't get into your bank account again. And the Bible has already predicted it. The thing is, the Bible's never wrong. It's been saying this since the stinking thing was printed in English in 1611. Everybody's known about it. This is not even a secret. The Bible has 100% predicted it and even tells you when it's going to happen. But you think these fools out here believe in the Bible? Oh no, it's just a book of stories. It's a book of poems. Really? Well, it told about the mark of the beast and how you will take the mark and you'll do what they say, or you will not buy or sell anything. So in other words, you ain't buying, you ain't getting no food, you ain't selling, you ain't doing nothing. Okay, but when that was written, people are like, you can't control that. We would just go barter. What do you mean? That's ridiculous. You can't do anything like that. Really? We're almost to that point. China's already there. They don't have any money. I mean, you don't have cash money. They're trying to get that here, like where a grandma can't even give somebody $5 in a birthday card. That has to be accounted for. So I guess grandmas will have to start giving QR codes in cards, and the kid can scan it and then somehow get digital money transferred to their account. But if grandma said the wrong thing about the government, that money's gone. Or if little boy doesn't want to go to school and bow down to the gay trans teacher, the sodomites, and worship, the gay pride flag, well, then you don't get your $5. It's taken away. So, I mean, that's the stuff that this government's going to do. That's what they're doing in China. It's not just, you've got to go along with the laws. Well, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I don't have a problem obeying the laws, normal laws. But when they pass a law that says you will get on your knees and bow down and worship some sodomite, then I'm a lawbreaker. Or you're going to get on your knees and you're going to worship this dude over here, or you're going to worship these Muslims over here, then I'm a lawbreaker. So see, that's what they're eventually going to do, is they're going to come up with some kind of bizarre law where you have to do it. Or now you're a felon, or if you don't do it, you're going to go to jail, or whatever. That's what it's coming to. And they're going to have full control over you and your finances through the digital. That's coming. And they need AI to do it. And I think they're going to use these fake aliens as part of it. I think these aliens are coming in especially for the rapture. That's my theory. Okay, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully I'll be gone when that happens. But somebody's going to say, oh, well, what happened to him? He disappeared. Oh, alien got him. He got abducted by aliens. Or, yeah, he was one of those Bible believers over there, some antiquated fool that still believes in God. He didn't even believe we came from a monkey. So the aliens had to take him to Mars. I mean, and the thing is, this is not even new. I mean, it's like I was saying about, who was I telling that to? I can't remember. Werner von Braun. I was telling the guy this. I said, do you know who Werner von Braun was? No. Okay, well, Werner von Braun was a Nazi scientist who supposedly was developing the V2 rocket for Germany and using it to bomb people, right? And I'm not saying anything else about Nazis, okay, because everything you've been taught about that's fake as well. Let's just say that. But he allegedly, was a Nazi scientist, and he probably was. So, supposedly, these Nazis committed war crimes. Whether they did or didn't, I wasn't there. I don't know. All I have is the textbooks to tell me, or the news, and they're all liars. So he supposedly comes over here in a government project called Project Paperclip, which brings over Nazi scientists and puts them to work, and they don't get any trouble for the crimes they committed. Whether they did or didn't, I don't know. So he comes over, and he's one of the first guys of NASA. Okay? And he brings his knowledge to build the rockets The rockets that what? Take the Apollo astronauts to the moon. Right? This is how this all ties in. Okay? There are pictures of Mr. Von Braun with the guy who founded Disney, Walt Disney. So there are pictures of Walt and this guy hanging out together. Okay? Lots of photos. It's like they did photo ops together. Why? I don't know. But lots of the photos, they're hanging out, taking pictures, posing over a big fake globe. Okay? So Walt Disney helped perpetuate the globe by putting it in his cartoons. Now, how did he get rewarded for that, I wonder? Well, I don't know. But, one of the planets that NASA discovered, they named it Pluto after his dog Pluto that was in his cartoons. And it just so happens that the planet Pluto has an image, an outline of the dog Pluto. That you transpose the dog Pluto over it, it's clearly the same. I mean, it's as fake as you get. But people are too stupid to see that. It's all a coincidence. Somehow, coincidentally, the planet Pluto has an image of the Pluto the dog on it from Walt Disney, and it just so happens Walt Disney and the main guy at NASA, Wernher von Braun, are in all kinds of pictures together, hanging out, talking about rockets, and talking about the globe. And in one of them, they're both hanging out with a stupid look on their face with a cheap doll of Mickey Mouse sitting on top of the globe. That's because the globe is Mickey Mouse, in case you don't understand that, right? So Wernher von Braun and all this NASA junk, all these rockets to the moon, right? On and on and on and on. Well, he has a private secretary. He tells his private secretary that it's all fake, according to her. Then on his deathbed, he tells her, because she wrote this down and they've got an interview on her, she says that he said that all this stuff was fake. And he said in the last days, he said, here's the funny thing. He said, they're going to claim that they need this stuff and there's going to be some kind of a space war. And we're going to need this stuff for space to fight battles in space. We're going to have to defend the planet from space invaders. Something to do with space and rockets. And he said, and the funny thing is, it's all fake. And then he died. So on his deathbed, he said it's fake. Mr. Nazi himself, Mr. NASA, the guy who built the rockets, who designed the rockets that got us to the moon, that's probably going to get us to Mars, right? He on his deathbed, he said it's fake. Hey, scratch all that, who cares? And then, now I don't know who did his tombstone. Okay, lots of people, I say lots of people, most people die and their family does their tombstone, right? So I don't know who did his. I don't know if the government did it, if he commissioned to have it done. I mean, he didn't have any family here. He was a Nazi. He was from Germany. So he had no family here. He was here. So I don't know who did this, and I don't know how to find out. But whoever did it, on his tombstone, put Psalm 19. And he has a little bitty headstone, okay? You'd think a big government scientist who helped put man on the moon would have like maybe something as big, I don't know, as a TV set or something. But no, it's just little bitty. And so he's got a little bitty nothing in the middle of nowhere, but it does say Psalm 19 on it. Well, Psalm 19 talks about the firmament and how it shows God's handiwork. Well, why would an atheist who believes in the Big Bang, who believes that we came from sludge into a fish, into a monkey over billions of years, who claims he's putting rockets to the moon when he knows good and well you can't get past the firmament, taking pictures with the globe and Walt Disney so they can do their pedo thing and all their stuff that they're into. And at the end of his life, he says it's a lie. And then on his tombstone talks about the firmament. Why would you put that on your home? Why would anybody do that? So, there you have it. I mean, the moon guy, firmament. It doesn't add up. So, according to the secretary, he said it's all fake. But don't listen to anything he has to say. You see what I mean? So here we are, all the way back around. The moon guy, on his deathbed, says it's all fake, says it's going to be space. That was in the 70s, I think, is when he died. I think he died in the 70s. Here we are in 2026, and now we've got the Space Force. Now, my question is, what are they doing? Because we know they're not going to outer space. So what is the Space Force doing? Nothing. Okay? There's nothing to be done because there's no outer space. So, it's a giant money laundering fake deal, but they're going to keep pushing it. That way when these aliens, or people disappear, and then they're going to claim the aliens did it. Here we are. Here we are again. So that's what I think is going to happen, and I think that's exactly why Trump is posting pictures of him parading around with aliens. It's the only thing that makes any sense. So I would look forward to that if I were you. I mean, not forward like, oh, I can't wait, but I think that that's right around the corner. So I can only imagine what they're going to claim they have, ships and organic material. I can't wait to hear it. It's absolutely no telling what they're going to come up with. But the way AI is today, you wouldn't know if it was real or not. So, anyway, having said all that, thanks for listening. Trying to cut it a little shorter. I'm trying to keep posted on all this stuff. I'm like a lot of people. I got to go to work. I got to do other stuff. I've got a lot of stuff going on. I've got some more podcast interviews coming up, hopefully real soon. Supposed to do the one this last weekend. It fell through. Couldn't get together on it. No big deal. Going to try again. Yeah. So, thanks for listening. Check out Spotify. Check out Patreon. Check out YouTube. Have any questions? Of course, you can get me on my website. It's flatbro.com. KennyWilliamson.com, TruthSeekersMinistry.org, TruthSeekersRadio.com. I've got a whole bunch of them. They all lead to the same place. Well, there's two different websites, but they'll all get you to the same place eventually. So, and on those websites, you can see how to contact me. Got a contact form. It'll send it right to my email. Or you can email me at truthseekers2012@gmail.com. Remember that. So, anyway, thanks for listening. I can't think if there's anything else. So, God bless you. Get into that Bible as soon as you can, because this alien deal, don't let it take you by surprise. They're going to claim they're aliens. They're demons. They're devils. Okay? Don't trust them. Don't believe them. Thanks for listening. Until we meet again, God bless you. Oh, well, I guess I better shut it off then, huh?